I think the biggest decision when it comes to Christmas is dessert. What to have for dessert. Trishy, you make good pudding, don't you?
Yeah, well, I try. I try.
But we're not doing any type of pudding here. We're doing a chocolate pudding. For me, that sounds like it's going to be on my menu this year for Christmas.
It is a really nice pudding, and it's a really good one for people who don't like a pudding with a lot of fruit in it.
Yep.
And it's got that lovely rich chocolate flavour and the chocolate chips in there as well.
Great.
So it's yummy.
Now, in this bowl, we've got some sultanas and some currants.
Yes, yep.
And I can smell there's a little bit of alcohol in there.
A little bit of brandy.
A little bit of brandy. How long do you allow that to rehydrate or macerate?
Look, if you're organised, better to do it overnight so it can plump up really nicely, as opposed to a normal Christmas pudding that you know let sit for weeks and weeks.
Sure.
So let's get started here. Can you cream together the butter and the sugar?
Sure.
Just till it's nice and fluffy.
Butter, which has been softened.
Yeah, nice and soft.
And good old caster sugar.
So essentially we're just making like a cake mixture.
Great.
I need a rind of an orange.
Okay.
And you want to just take the very top off that orange so you get all the beautiful oils but without the bitterness. Otherwise it spoils the flavour, I think.
Of course.
While I'm here, I'm going to sift some flour, some self-raising flour.
Yep.
And also some cocoa, so it's going to give a beautiful chocolatey crumb.
Delicious. And I can see over here that the butter and the sugar is really light and fluffy now. So can I start adding some eggs?
Yes, you can. I'll get this done and then we'll be able to join it all together.
And it's always one at a time with the eggs?
I think so.
Because if you put too many in at once, what happens to
it gets all curdly.
Exactly. All right, so last egg's going in now.
Yep.
And I'm just going to speed this up a little bit more. Okay, Trish, that's come together nicely.
Yeah, that looks great. Now we can start to add the flour and the cocoa. We need to sift those together to lighten it up and to get rid of any lumps that might be there. I'm going to add some baking chips. That's going to give it an extra chocolate hit.
Ooh, yes.
And you can use milk or dark. I'm going to use milk today. And the great thing about the baking chips is they're designed not to fall apart when they're heated. They will get nice and soft, but they should hold their shape within the mixture.
All right, the last of the flour and the cocoa's going in.
You could add the milk to that now, and then we
Sure.
can stir those. We'll take it off and add the other ingredients. So that just helps to get the cake batter going.
Just speed it a little bit.
Looks nice and chocolatey.
Done. All right. Scrape the paddle off out, and then I'll pass that bowl to you. So it's very easy to do a recipe like this.
Oh, for sure. So we've got the rind. I actually sometimes think it's better to add the rind off the beaters because otherwise you pull it off the beaters all the time.
Okay.
And we've got the fruit. If you've forgotten to macerate your fruit, you can always plump it in the microwave for 30 seconds to a minute, which works well too. The chocolate chips have gone in. That smells great. And as I say, it's a bit of an alternative to that really heavy pudding that people make with, you know, tons and tons of fruit.
Absolutely.
And the other thing that's great about this, of course, you know, it's all very well to have it at Christmas time, but, you know, it's a perfect one for Christmas in July because it's really quick. Like, you can almost put together on the day or the night before. It doesn't have to sit.
Sure. And I did notice just at the bottom of our bowl here, you did add a little bit of baking paper.
Yes, I did. Just that's the insurance policy. I always like one.
Of course.
Just a little bit in the base, well greased. There we are.
And we've got some foil here. Again, you've greased this because as it does rise, the top may stick a little bit.
And that's a double layer. And I've just put a little pleat in the top just in case it gets really excited and expands more than it should.
Okay.
And some nice wet string.
Fabulous. So, Trish, tell me about the cooking process. It is quite unique.
It is. We're going to steam the pudding and essentially we're going to put it into a boiler that's got a lid there. So that the bottom of the pudding doesn't burn, it makes sense to put an old saucer in the bottom.
Okay. And, Trish, tell me about these little handles that you've made here.
Oh, well, you can make a whole lot of string on the top of your pudding, but I actually like this because you can just pull it up when you're done after the cooking time. It makes it a lot easier to get the pudding out.
Much easier.
So we can put that in on top of the saucer and you want to put enough water in, nice and warm so that it gets the cooking process started early, around about halfway up the pudding basin.
Okay, well,
That's
I'll make
really
sure.
important. You want to make sure there's plenty in there. And you should actually hear, because it's got the little saucer in the bottom, you should actually hear that kind of rocking as it cooks. So that's my old thing. It's like if you can't hear that noise, it's like it's gone dry.
Right,
Okay.
So lid goes on, an hour and a
Yes,
half, gentle simmer until it's cooked.
Yep, beautiful.
Great. Getting very exciting now because our pudding is cooked an hour and a half later. Well, I'm looking forward to the reveal. But we have to serve pudding with custard. You have to have custard, right?
That's right. It's not right without it.
And we're doing another chocolate element here, a white chocolate custard.
Yep.
And in this pot, we are just boiling some cream and some milk.
Yep.
And over here, we've got some eggs. And what's the next step?
So you just whisk together the eggs and a little bit of corn flour to stop it from curdling, and some sugar just to sweeten it up.
Okay, and we only used the egg yolks there.
That's right, yeah, just the egg yolks.
And just mix that together. And it's going to thicken up quite quickly because we've got that corn flour in there.
That's right. And it saves you having to do it over water as well.
Absolutely. And straight in.
And whisk it through. And then once that's done, I've got some white baking block to put in, some Cadbury white chocolate.
Well, I'm going to keep whisking this. Maybe we should start the big reveal.
Yes, I'll get onto that. Don't forget a couple of tablespoons of brandy in there too.
As if I would forget that.
Right, there's a lid off to the side. Remember we put our little lifters in here.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have to go too far with it.
Ooh.
Okay, so now let's take off the string and see how delicious our pudding is.
All right. Ooh, beautiful.
Yummy. Okay, well, I'm going to invert the pudding. There we go. Okay, off we go.
Ta-da! Looks perfect.
It does look nice.
Love it. All right, this custard is done, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the brandy. How much brandy do you like in it, Trishy?
Well, at least
Say
a
when.
good couple of tablespoons.
I think that's plenty.
Yummy.
So now all we need to do is pour this delicious
think so.
custard. I'm going to bring that over here, and I mean, I like a lot of sauce on anything really, but
do too.
on pudding in particular, I like a lot of custard. So I'm just going all out.
Yum.
Oh yeah. This is exciting.
That's a lot.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just get too excited, Trishy. But that for me just looks so yummy, and how it just falls over the edges. That's Christmas this year for me.
Good.
Love it.